Alright, as a superintendent, do you make the decisions about the drug policies in the school?
Policies are usually done by the Board of Education. So if we have an idea, what we would do is probably put together a committee, and some recommendations would go to the board, and on that committee we would probably have some board members, but then the final adoption would be by the Board of Education and myself.
With regards to steroid abuse, are you seeing any steroid?
Tom,
Yeah.
you should just tell Mr. Perot too with like what you guys are doing. They're talking about how either the regulation or non-regulation of steroids in major sports, how that possibly affects them. So that they were kind of looking at footage of Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds being asked, questions by the Congress.
Okay.
And then you have to take something Washington has done and connect it with them and their community.
Okay.
So they were trying to make that connection. And Danielle, what was yours?
Education funding. We're talking about
Funding.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry to interrupt.
Well, with regard to substance abuse, specifically steroids, do you see any substance abuse at the grade school level?
We don't at this point, but it doesn't mean that we can't take precautionary measures to make sure some things are in place to prevent that. And some of the things that have been brought up are voluntary drug testing. I know at the middle school and the high school we have had voluntary drug testing, which are good. But I don't think that extends out to the population that you really need to target.
Now, why isn't there testing at the high school level for steroid abuse?
Is it beyond the voluntary drug testing?
Beyond.
You get into legalities with that, and it could be interpreted as a personal infringe on your rights. So, it's illegal for the school district to say, unless you go through a mandatory drug policy, you can't play football or basketball. So it becomes a civil rights issue. So we have to be very, very careful with that. Some schools have tried it. There was a place called Levittown, New York, that instituted a mandatory drug policy. And they were taken to court by numerous parents, so they dropped it because of the civil rights issue. But it doesn't mean that we can't look into it.
Do you think that opposition to mandatory drug testing kind of hinders the school district from regulating it to a point?
I don't think so. I don't think so because we do have athletic policies in place, and there is a clause of no alcohol, no drugs, smoking, which are all drugs for the most part. I don't really think it hinders it, but it does place a lot more of the responsibility on our parents.
That's all I got.
I think that's it.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.